Before you even step foot on that cruise ship, there's one thing you absolutely must get right, or risk losing access to the medications that keep you safe, healthy, and moving. With cruise lines tightening their rules in 2025, travelers are getting blindsided at embarkation by new restrictions, confiscations, and even denied boarding, all because of simple medication mistakes that are 100% avoidable. I've seen it happen with seasoned cruisers, first-timers, even retired nurses who thought they packed everything right, only to be delayed, fined, or worse, scrambling to replace critical meds in the middle of the ocean. But that won't be you. Because today, I'm giving you the 12 essential rules, straight from cruise line updates, port security protocols, and real-life medical mishaps that every cruiser needs to know in 2025. These aren't optional. They're the difference between smooth sailing and a vacation disaster. From prescription documents and storage hacks to what not to pack in your luggage, we're covering it all. Stay with me till the end, because the last 3 rules are the ones even frequent cruisers still get wrong. Rule number 1. Always pack meds in your carry-on. This is the golden rule of medication management for any trip, but it's even more critical for a cruise. And the importance of this rule is being emphasized even further with updated baggage handling protocols and potential delays across the travel industry in 2025. The biggest, and frankly, most dangerous mistake cruisers make is packing essential, daily, or life-sustaining medications in their checked luggage. Thinking your bag will definitely make it to your cabin without issue is a gamble you absolutely cannot afford to take when it comes to your health. I recently saw a passenger get off the ship because her checked bag, containing all her life-sustaining heart medication, was tragically misplaced for an entire day. It was a nightmare scenario. Your checked luggage can get delayed, temporarily lost, or even accidentally sent to the wrong ship. Always keep all prescription medications, essential over-the-counter meds, and any vital medical devices in the bag you personally carry with you onto the ship. This ensures immediate access, no matter what unforeseen circumstance arises with your other bags. Rule number 2. Keep meds in original, labeled containers. As cruise lines enhance their security measures and work more closely with international customs, a key update for 2025 emphasizes much clearer policies around how medications should be presented during embarkation and disembarkation. The common mistake here is transferring pills into unlabeled organizers, generic pill cases, or unmarked plastic baggies to save space or for convenience. While this might be fine for daily use at home, it can cause significant complications when traveling. At a recent embarkation, a passenger was pulled aside and had to explain every single unidentifiable pill in an unlabeled container to a customs agent. This caused a significant and embarrassing delay and easily could have led to confiscation. To avoid questions, scrutiny, or even potential confiscation from security or customs, both at the port and when entering foreign countries, it is absolutely vital to keep all medications in their original, clearly labeled prescription bottles or packaging. This instantly verifies what the medication is, its dosage, and that it's prescribed specifically to you, streamlining your passage. Rule number 3. Carry a doctor's note or prescription copies for all prescribed meds. While original containers are essential, they alone might not be enough, especially for certain types of medications or when traveling internationally. This is a crucial backup step many travelers unfortunately overlook, particularly with increased scrutiny on specific substances. The mistake is traveling with only your prescription bottles but no additional supporting documentation from your healthcare provider. This seemingly minor oversight can become a major headache if questions arise. A friend on an itinerary that involved crossing several international borders had a controlled substance medication for a chronic condition. When trying to re-enter the ship from a shore excursion in a foreign country, he was questioned by local authorities. Thankfully, he had a signed letter from his doctor readily available, which immediately averted what could have been a very serious issue, proving its invaluable worth. For all prescription medications, it is highly recommended to carry a signed letter from your doctor explaining the medication, its dosage, the medical condition it treats, and why you need it. Additionally, keep copies of your original prescriptions separate from the meds themselves. This comprehensive documentation is vital for customs, security, and absolutely essential if you ever need a refill or medical assistance at sea or in a foreign port. Rule number 4. Understand quantity limits, new for 2025. Bulk limits. As part of updated security and compliance efforts, some cruise lines and port authorities are introducing clearer guidelines regarding bulk quantities for certain medications, particularly over-the-counter items, starting in 2025. The common mistake is bringing an excessive amount of medication that might appear to be commercial quantities rather than for personal use, which can raise suspicions. While it's always wise to bring enough for your trip plus a buffer, overpacking certain items can backfire. I recall a story of someone who packed a year's supply of common over-the-counter pain relievers just in case for a short 7-day Caribbean cruise. At the security checkpoint, customs officials questioned whether it was genuinely for personal use due to the sheer volume. While cruise lines typically allow a reasonable supply for your trip duration plus a buffer, usually 1 to 2 weeks extra, bringing excessively large, commercially packaged quantities might trigger unnecessary scrutiny. Rule number 5. Plan for refrigeration. Inform ship in advance. For medications that are temperature sensitive, such as insulin, certain biologics, or specific eye drops, maintaining a consistent cool temperature is absolutely critical for their efficacy and safety. The common mistake cruisers make is assuming their cabin's mini-fridge will be cold enough, or that adequate refrigeration will be automatically provided without any advance notification to the cruise line. Standard mini-fridges in cabins are often not cold enough to be considered medical grade. A traveler arrived on board with their insulin, expecting the cabin's mini-fridge to suffice, only to find it wasn't nearly cold enough to safely store their medication for the duration of the voyage. They spent precious hours on embarkation day scrambling, trying to get assistance from the crew to properly store it, causing significant stress. If your medication requires specific refrigeration beyond a cool, dry place, it is imperative that you contact the cruise line's special needs or access department well in advance, ideally at least 30 to 60 days prior to your sailing date. They can arrange for a medical-grade mini-fridge to be placed in your cabin or advise on safe storage options at the ship's dedicated medical center. Don't wait until embarkation day to address this critical need. Rule number 6. Be aware of international regulations and controlled substances. This is arguably one of the most significant and frequently overlooked rules, often catching travelers completely off guard, especially on international itineraries that visit multiple countries. The critical mistake is not researching the legality and import regulations of your specific medications in every single foreign port your cruise ship will visit. What's perfectly legal and commonly prescribed at home can be a restricted, or even illegal, substance elsewhere, even with a valid prescription. I witnessed a passenger being denied re-entry onto the ship from a shore excursion because one of their seemingly innocuous prescription medications, legal in their home country, was considered a controlled substance and illegal to possess in that particular foreign country. It created a huge diplomatic headache and ruined their day. Some common medications are classified differently around the world. Before your cruise, diligently research the medication laws for every single country on your itinerary. Rule number 7. Pack a backup supply separate from main stash. Even with the best planning, unforeseen incidents can occur. A bag gets lost, a bottle accidentally drops and breaks, or your primary medication storage becomes inaccessible. This crucial secret is a simple yet incredibly effective safety net that many experienced travelers employ. The mistake is placing your entire medication supply into a single bag or container without any redundancy. Putting all your eggs in one basket, so to speak, leaves you completely vulnerable if that basket is compromised. Someone I know, despite being very organized, accidentally left their entire medication bag in a taxi on the way to the port during a frantic rush. Luckily, they had wisely packed a small backup supply of their critical meds in their spouse's carry-on bag, which single-handedly saved their entire trip and prevented a medical crisis. Always keep your main medication supply in your personal carry-on bag. However, for critical or life-sustaining medications, always pack a few days' worth of a backup supply in a different bag, perhaps a small personal item, or even with a trusted travel companion's luggage. This simple redundancy is an invaluable safety net for the unexpected. Rule number 8. Account for time zone changes, especially on longer voyages. For cruises that span multiple time zones, such as transatlantic voyages or longer itineraries that cross significant longitudinal lines, managing your medication schedule can become surprisingly complex. The mistake is not planning for necessary dosage adjustments as the ship's time changes, which can disrupt the efficacy of your medication or cause side effects due to inconsistent dosing. Your body relies on a regular schedule, and sudden shifts can throw it off. On an east-to-west transatlantic cruise, a passenger completely messed up their crucial blood pressure medication schedule due to the frequent, gradual time changes. This led to them feeling unwell and experiencing symptoms that could have been avoided with proper planning. Consult your doctor before the cruise about how to best adjust your medication schedule for different time zones. They can advise on gradual adjustments or specific strategies to ensure consistent efficacy and minimize any potential side effects, ensuring your health remains stable throughout the journey. Rule number 9. Don't rely on the ship's medical center for refills. While cruise ships are equipped with medical facilities and staff, it's vital to understand their primary function. They are designed for emergencies and immediate care, not to operate as a full-service pharmacy for routine refills or dispensing common over-the-counter medications. The critical mistake here is expecting to obtain routine refills or specific non-emergency medications on board during your voyage. Their stock is limited and curated for acute situations. A cruiser ran out of a common, non-critical allergy medication a few days into her trip, thinking she could just pop down to the ship's doctor to buy a refill. The ship's dispensary only had basic, expensive alternatives, and she ended up feeling miserable and congested for the remainder of her vacation. Always pack enough medication for your entire cruise duration, plus a comfortable extra supply for unforeseen delays. Ship dispensaries are extremely limited in their inventory and primarily stock emergency or acute care medications, often at a significant markup, and may not have what you specifically need. Rule number 10. Consider travel-size syringe/needle disposal for injectables. For travelers who rely on injectable medications, such as insulin pens or pre-filled syringes, proper and safe disposal of used needles and sharps is not just a courtesy, but a regulatory requirement. The mistake is not having a secure, compliant way to dispose of your used needles or syringes while on board, leading to uncertainty or improper disposal. It's an often overlooked detail that can cause unnecessary stress. A nurse on a recent cruise, who used injectables daily, found herself without a personal sharps container and was unsure of the ship's policy for safe disposal of her used insulin pens. This led to avoidable stress and inconvenience. If you use injectables, it's highly recommended to ask your prescribing doctor or local pharmacy for a small, travel-sized sharps container that you can bring with you. Most cruise lines also provide sharps disposal services in your cabin's waste bin upon request, or at the ship's medical center. It's always best practice to inform guest services or the medical center upon embarkation if you will require this service during your cruise. Rule number 11. Pack a printed list of all medications and dosages. In the event of a medical emergency, particularly if you are unable to communicate effectively, having clear and comprehensive information about your health is absolutely vital for the ship's medical staff or emergency responders in a foreign port. The critical mistake is relying solely on your memory or a digital record on your phone for your complete medication list, especially if your device runs out of battery or is lost. A physical backup is crucial. During a severe medical emergency at sea, a passenger was unconscious and unable to communicate their full medication list or allergies to the ship's doctor. This critical lack of information significantly delayed proper diagnosis and treatment, highlighting how essential this simple step is. Take the time to create a printed list of all your medications, both prescription and essential over-the-counter, including their dosages, frequency of use, and the specific medical condition each treats. It's also wise to include your primary doctor's contact information and any known allergies. Keep one copy with your passport, another in your carry-on bag, and consider giving a third copy to a trusted travel companion. It's a minimal effort for critical peace of mind and can be life-saving. Rule number 12. Research cruise line-specific policies. They vary. Finally, while all the previous rules are excellent general best practices, it is absolutely paramount to remember that medication policies can and do vary significantly between different cruise lines. The mistake is assuming that all cruise lines have identical regulations or requirements regarding medications, medical devices, or special needs. What was fine on one line might be problematic on another. Someone I know invested heavily in a portable oxygen tank for a specific cruise, only to discover, upon reading the fine print of that particular cruise line's terms, that they had much stricter requirements for medical equipment, power sources, and storage than they had anticipated from previous cruises with other lines. Before you even book, if you have complex medication needs, it is your responsibility to check the specific cruise line's special needs, medical, or accessibility policy directly on their official website or call their dedicated department. Do not rely on assumptions or general advice. Verify directly with your chosen cruise line for your specific departure year and itinerary. And there you have it, Prepared Cruisers. 12 essential rules for carrying medications on your cruise, especially with those new cruise line rules for 2025. My goal isn't to add stress, but to empower you with the kind of knowledge that transforms a potential headache into absolute peace of mind. By diligently following these guidelines, you're not just packing your medication, you're packing confidence. You're ensuring your health, avoiding unnecessary hassles, and setting yourself up for the truly worry-free vacation you deserve. So go forth, pack smart, and enjoy every single moment of your cruise adventure. Ready to cruise with confidence? Hit like if these tips clarify your medication packing, and subscribe to Cruise Pro for more honest insights and essential advice that truly transforms your travel experience. What's your top medication packing tip for a cruise? Share it in the comments below. Until next time, take care, and I'll see you in the next video.